Okay, Kelly, recording in 5, 4, 3.
A lot of pressure right now. Not going to lie. What you're about to experience is Toronto mic'd, and it's going to be something else. Oh, by the way, I'm Kelly Cutrara. Thanks for being here.
That's Kelly Cutrara, everybody. You blew it!
I didn't know I was supposed to say my own name. There was a lot of instruction before this thing started. He's like that. Do this, do that, stand on one foot. Why one?
You did great. Welcome to episode 1781 of Toronto Mic'd, proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery, a fiercely independent craft brewery who believes in supporting communities, good times, and brewing amazing beer. Order online for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Blue Sky Agency, the official distributor of Silen's quiet, comfortable, and customizable office pods. Create sanctuary within your workspace. Nick Iones. I almost choked up on that name. Nick Iones. He's the host. He's the host of Building Toronto Skyline and Building Success, 2 podcasts you ought to listen to. Kindling. Go to shopkindling.ca for free 1-hour cannabis delivery. Recyclemyelectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. And Ridley Funeral Home. Kelly's already playing with her measuring tape.
Easy now.
That's right. Today, returning to Toronto Mic'd for the first time in over a decade, it's Kelly Cutrara, everybody. How you doing, Kelly?
I'm great. You?
Great. Can I tell the listenership that you have braces now?
Well, they're not really braces.
Tell me what they are.
They're Invisaligns. I took them out because they make my voice sound funny.
I liked you better the other way. Would you mind putting them back in?
Are you kidding?
And I'm only kidding if you think I'm kidding. You don't have to put them back in. But you had a beautiful smile because I've known you for quite a long time. We'll revisit that. But
age is not kind. Your teeth start to shift. They do.
So your smile got crooked? What's happening?
The little the lateral teeth next to my front teeth, they just started to twist a little, and I was like, "Oh man, my benefits are going to run out soon, so I might as well do it now."
So you had benefits from Chorus, like some kind of a salary continuance, maybe?
Yeah.
I know all about these things. Okay, I'm practically an HR lawyer here. Okay, and you were taking advantage of that and got that benefits package to cover your Invisalign. And now, because that was how long do you have to wear the whatever?
I am on liner 18 of 43, and you switch every week. Unless you take them out a lot, because you have to wear them for 21 hours a day. And if you take them out a lot, like I just did for this, then you can't eat for the rest of the day. Well, you can, but you can't eat with them in. So,
well, could I ask you? You took them out because you sound clearer.
Yeah.
But people know why you sound a little bit lispy or whatever. Like, so do you want to put them back in? Like, would it be better for your health if you put them back in?
No, it's fine.
Okay, it's Kelly. Fine. I'm just always looking out for you. You know that, right?
It's all right. I'll just skip lunch and dinner.
Okay, I have your dinner. Can I give you your dinner right now before we get into it? Sure. People are very excited to hear your voice again.
What did you make for me?
I made a frozen lasagna from Palma Pasta. It's in my freezer. You're going home with a large lasagna, Kelly Cutrara.
I'm very excited about this. First of all, because I'm going to the cottage this weekend. Secondly, I love Palma Pasta. And even before they sponsored your show, I used to go because they were right near Folkway Avenue in Mississauga.
Yes. Aaron Mills?
Yeah. And I don't know if they're still there, but they had, like, honestly, I'd go in and just load it up. Bring it home.
So Mama's I told the family that owns Palma Pasta is the Petrucci family.
Okay.
And I was talking to Anthony Petrucci yesterday about how you were coming on because Lisa Brandt was here yesterday talking radio, and she took a lovely photo for Instagram, and it made Anthony very happy. But Anthony told me Anthony loves you, Kelly Cutrara.
Like how?
Like just loves you from the radio. Just loves your personality. Loves your.
I think we've met before. I'm pretty sure we met on the Humble and Fred podcast.
Okay, so
years ago too.
Before we get to chorus and everything, That's where you and I met.
Yeah.
You were like a third voice on the Humble and Fred show in pretty early days for that podcast.
Yeah, they were kind enough to let me come on and hang out. It was good.
And you were on every day. Like a third voice.
Yeah, I feel like it was on every day.
Yeah, I think so.
For a while, and I was kind of like their news gal.
So let me do this. Let me let the listenership know that you were in this very basement almost 10 years ago to the day, because it was October 15, 2020.
Really?
Sorry, 2015. So 2015, October 15, you were in this basement, and here you are a year and 1 day. I'm sorry, I'm messing up because I'm so nervous. Kelly Cutrara back in the basement. A decade and 1 day later.
You're messing up because you've been drinking all morning with these Great Lake Brewery.
You want some Great Lakes beer to take home? I know you don't drink and drive. Like nobody should drink and drive.
I'll take some home. Why wouldn't I?
Okay,
I'm not
fresh
saying
craft
no
beer
to
from
that.
Great Lakes. So we recorded episode 137, like 3 digits there, 137. And here's what I wrote at the time, okay? Mike chats with radio host Kelly Cutrara about her years at 102.1 The Edge. That's when I first heard you. I listened to quite a bit of that station in the 90s.
Yep.
You took over for May Potts, as I recall.
I was listening to May Potts on Boom on my way here.
Not a easy position to be put into.
No, like honestly, it is. It's like when they have the Disney characters in the animated favorites that everybody fell in love with, and then they try and do the real life action version of it, and people go, well, it's not really the same. It's like, no, it's not the same, because nothing will be that original excellent character that you fell in love with. So then I had to be it's sort of the same, but it's not at all the same.
And as I recall from May's visit to the basement, she visited here with her daughter, actually. Her
daughter Lauren's lovely too.
Absolutely. And she also worked at The Edge in some capacity fairly recently. But May left 102.1 for Mojo.
Yeah.
Like this is Mojo Radio at 640, so it's all going to come back in a minute. But May regrets that decision, but you did benefit from that decision May Potts made. That's a fact. I don't know if you need to respond or not. Okay, so just to finish the description, so you're at 102.1 The Edge for a while, but then you're at Mix 99.9.
Yep.
Did you cross paths with Lisa Brandt when you were at Mix 99.9, or were you many, many years after she left?
Well, I feel like I've met Lisa Brandt before, but no, we don't know each other well. No.
Then CFRB.
Yep. 1010. That was my first experience with talk radio.
Then CBC Radio 2.
Yeah. I exploded the classical music portion of that radio station.
And then Fresh FM.
Yeah.
Can you remind me what Fresh FM was?
Oh, it was a bad move on my part. That's what that was. That was a mistake.
Was that a Hamilton station?
Yeah. But listen, it's nothing against Hamilton. It's just that, I love music and I am not a pop music fan. So for me, it was very hard to sell Katy Perry. Because that's really what you're doing at that point. Like music, those pop stations, it's all about selling that music and, a lifestyle, a feeling. I just wasn't into any of the stuff that I was supposed to be into. It was a miscast. But it wasn't that
Kelly,
it was bad. It was just a miscast. And Colleen Rusham and I worked together on that station.
Okay, and you were on the phone with Colleen when you arrived in my driveway.
Yes, and you love her, apparently.
I said I love both of you. But I absolutely
I don't mind if you love her more. That's fine.
I can't choose, to be honest, because you're both lovely human beings. Like, you're both talented broadcasters who are lovely human beings.
Well, thank you.
Okay, well, take that compliment. I don't just hand these out like candies, but I would just want to remind you that when humble Howard Glassman was the morning show host on CFNY 102.1 The Edge, playing Sloan and Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots, he was at home listening to Steely Dan. So I'm just here to tell you, many a DJ didn't give...
But how are they different? It's still that's good music.
Okay, but good music, but a completely different... Instead of Steely Dan, I could have said Iron Maiden or something. Like, the point is, you don't have to love the music that you're
I think it helps.
playing.
I think that's... You know what? I think that's where radio went wrong.
Can you elaborate? Because there's a name of somebody you worked with who's no longer with us I always think about.
Martin Street.
No, I wasn't going to be him, actually.
Who were you thinking of?
Bookie.
Oh, yeah.
Because Bookie knew the music, loved the music, and he would be kind of like, he'd tell you about the music, and you'd learn about the music, not just hear the song. And I feel like we need more Bookies in radio.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the problem is somewhere along the line, the people that were in charge of casting for radio didn't have a clue of what was important. And it was the product that you're selling is the music, and the DJs their job is to introduce you to the music, to get you acquainted to why they connect with the music, and for you to form connection. At the end of the day, it's all about connection. And there's been, a disconnect for years and years. And whoever cast me at Fresh should have known, it's not going to work, because it was aimed at women with kids. I don't have kids. I was living a different reality. How am I going to sell that? I don't know.
So it came to an end for you at Fresh.
Yeah.
It's an obvious. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm establishing last time you were in the basement.
Yeah.
So that was 10 years and 1 day ago.
Okay.
And so I knew you from Humble and Fred because you were a third voice for quite a while.
Yeah.
You hadn't yet landed a full-time job at 640 when you were in this basement 10 years and 1 day ago. So I almost want to pick it up from there. Like at the time.
No, but I think was I at Fresh when you were talking to me?
Well, no, it said Fresh FM and what she's up to now. So I think you were post-Fresh.
So, okay. So when I was at Fresh, I also was popping over to 640 because they were both owned by Chorus. And Bill Carroll has been so generous to me in my career and in helping me out. And, I wouldn't have ever done talk radio if it wasn't for Bill Carroll and Jim Richards.
From 1010.
Yeah. Both of them were at 1010. And I was over at Standard at the time working at The Mix, and we went to Africa. And we came back from Africa on this World Vision trip. We came back from Africa, and we did it was a profound experience, really life-changing. And we did a radiothon to raise money for World Vision. And they said, every time you talk, Kelly, the phones light up, because I really was just being completely honest with my experience.
You were speaking from the heart.
Yeah. And, I guess moving people to call in.
Well, that's called authenticity.
Mm-hmm. And so Bill Carroll heard something there, and he said, you should put her on talk, give her a chance.
And that was your CFRB spell.
Yeah. And Jim said she'd be good too, so give it a shot. And they both are very good at what they do, so they, gave me a shot. But Bill, when I went over to 640, Bill was working in Los Angeles from there.
Different 640, actually.
And when Sandy Salerno, who I think was, she's no longer in the industry, but I think she was one of the best radio news broadcasters ever. She was just talk about authentic. She would do this roundtable with him. And so when she wasn't able to do it, he called me in for it. And then that's how I got my start.
So
that's working with Chris Creston, who's just an incredible human as well. I love people, clearly.
Well, I wanted names of all the people you love, but I should just tell you that even though it's been a decade and a day since you were in the basement, and we're going to find out about what happened at 640 and everything, and what's life like now for Kelly Cutrara, you actually did come on my mics, and you were recorded because I recorded live from the GLB Brew Pub. Do you remember this?
I think I may have had a few, and I think I barged my way into being on your podcast.
Well, okay, I'm going to run down this list real quick, and then we're going to talk 640 because the people demand it. But it was April 2023. Amanda Cupido was the program director at 640, and here's what I wrote really quickly. In this 1,233rd episode of Toronto Mic'd, Mike crashes the 640 Toronto party at the GLB Brew Pub. That's at Jarvis and Queens Quay, by the way. Guests include, I'll run this down very quickly, Anthony Farnell, Troy Birch, Fabian Skidmore. Those are two chaps from GLB. Alan Carter, Jason Chapman. A lot of these people are long gone. Corey Manuel, Dan Spearin.
I think all of the people you've mentioned, even except for Farnell so far, are gone.
Pina Crispo, who was the Inside Edge girl, I want to say.
No, Pina Crispo, I think she did like the parenting show.
Yeah, but before that, she was at CFNY as like the Inside Edge girl.
Okay.
Patrick Malkin, Kelly Cutrara, Rob Johnston, who's still at Chorus, Edward Keenan, Rebecca Cuneo, who's married to Edward Keenan, by the way, Vince Tedesco, Danny Stover, who got it when you got it. We'll talk about that in a minute. Greg Brady, who's still there. Rachel Brady, who's married to Greg Brady. Alex Pearson, who's still there, and Dave Bradley. So that was like 2.5 hours of me talking to all these people at the GLB Brew Pub, and you were one of those people.
Yeah, I don't think I was on the list though. I think
I said it.
I really just jumped in.
No, there was no list. Like I literally was set up in a corner, and anybody at that party who wanted to jump on a mic came on the mic, and I'm pretty sure I yelled at you, Kelly, please come on my mic. I want to catch up with you.
Oh, okay.
How did you get the job at 640?
Well, that's how I got the job. It just happened organically. Filling in for Sandy Salerno, and then Bill would be away, and they'd say, "Okay, do you want to fill in?" And I'm like, "Yeah, good, I'll do it." So then I filled in an afternoon drive, and then Bill left I think he left full time for Los Angeles. Something came up. I actually can't remember what happened. That's embarrassing, but it was 10 years ago. And so I just kept filling in, and every month, Scotty Guest, who was operations manager at the time, and he would call me and say, "Hey, do you want to fill in for another month?" And I'd say, "Yeah, okay." So I was just playing it by ear.
Do you remember what year it was when you started there?
10 years ago.
10 years ago. So almost very shortly after your Toronto Mic'd appearance. Do you think that was a coincidence, Kelly?
I don't know.
Did the 640 people hear you on Toronto Mic'd?
What are you going to do for me
and
now?
Say she's a good,
wow.
Yeah, she's got a good rap on her.
A good rack?
A good rap.
A rap. I'm sorry.
A great rack. I'm talking about the rap on you, Kelly. Please. Great rap on you. You're a good talker. So obviously, what I remember is I would have chats with people from 640, like Mike Stafford, etc., and we would talk about how you were a fill-in for a very long time. Like, was it difficult to get that changed from like fill-in to I am now a permanent host on 640?
You know what? I really liked it when I was filling in because you stay hungry because you want it, and also I didn't have to do it. I could always say no. Like I just was myself, and I could do the kind of show that I wanted to do because, I didn't really belong to anybody. And then, one day they came to me and said, "Do you want to do this full time?" And it wasn't the show I wanted. It wasn't the afternoon drive because I really liked it. Mainly I liked it because the hours were great, but I also really loved working with Chris Creston. I think he's the best talk show producer in the industry, no longer in the industry, sadly.
What industry is he in?
He's communications.
Like with the government?
For a politician, yeah.
Is it Doug Ford?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say. No, I don't know if he wants me to say, so I'm going to respect that he may not want me to say where he's working. Okay. But he works for a mayor. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyhow, he's quite happy, but it's not the same thing as radio because we worked as a team every day and it was fast paced. But I still talk to him here and there, but I miss him. But that's so inside and boring for people that don't know him. But I worked with him. So when they offered me a full-time job, I'm like, you know what? It's 2 to 4. And I said, well, I'll only take it if I can take Chris. Because he had been forever the afternoon drive producer at 640. And
who's phoning you? Is that Colleen
know,
Rushholm? Can you just tell me who it is?
What a rookie mistake. I'll tell you who it is.
Also, then you think this is boring. And I'm listening to you say this is boring. And I'm thinking, I decide what's boring, Kelly Cutrara. Okay, Kelly's checking her phone. Okay, but is it anybody I know?
It's my husband.
Do you want to get it?
No.
Because it's going to be a thing.
I know where
you
he
were great last
I talk
night,
to him
Kelly.
Every day.
Kelly, you were great last night. That's what he's going to say there. Okay. Do you know Heather Purdon?
Yes.
I know you do, but
yes.
Do you know where she's working right now?
Yeah, I think she did this. She's doing the same thing Chris Creston.
Yeah, she's working for Brad Bradford.
Yeah.
The only person so far to announce he's running for mayor in 2026.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so,
good for
him. So Heather's got a lot going on over there. Okay.
Yeah.
So you get the full-time job. I do have a question. You said you like the fill-in because of whatever, the pressure, and you could say no. But you can't get Invisalign when you're filling.
No, benefits are great. I love benefits. People that say they never use their benefits, don't be a fool.
They have no teeth, those
They're
people.
part of your package. It's your salary. If you're not using your benefits, that's why you're so stressed out. Go get your massage. It's included.
Right. And even if it's just like a therapist to talk to.
I never used that benefit. Actually, I did not use that benefit. And strangely enough, in the last, 10 months, I haven't used it.
Well, that's because you phone me up and we have these lengthy conversations and you don't have to pay me.
That's not true.
Okay, so you're now full-time at 640.
Yeah.
Okay.
Loved it.
Who was the program director when you got that full-time gig?
That was Nathan Smith, I believe.
Nathan Smith.
Yeah.
Does Amanda Cupido replace Nathan?
No.
Okay, who's between these people?
Jeff Story is.
Okay.
And then Amanda.
Okay. And who is the program director when you get your pink slip, which we'll discuss in a moment?
That would be Mike Bendixson. You don't get pink slips, by the way.
No.
There's no slip.
You don't go to your
no.
mail slot and see a pink slip?
Mm-mm.
You know, it's more like an HR person and somebody you report to ask you to meet them in an office and they have like a folder. Do you remember how you got it? Like usually that's how it typically is. It's like they call you into a meeting and you'll see.
Listen, if you're in radio and you're called into a meeting with your boss, because it happens every once in a while, if you're called into a meeting and you walk in and you don't recognize the other person in the room, guess what? You are going to be handed an envelope. And then they'll tell you don't have to sign anything right away, just blah, 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 blah. And it's usually a really uncomfortable, nice person from HR that you've never met.
What a job that
before.
is, right? Like imagine going to school and your job is that you're in the room with the folder to tell somebody their services are no longer required.
You know what I think a worse job is, though, is the person that has to hand the person the folder and say your services are no longer required. But that's never really said. They don't say that.
No, it's implied.
This is what's said. We're going in a different direction.
Is that what they said to you?
No, but they were. I can't say I signed an NDA.
Okay.
So I can't really reveal any of that, but I'll tell you what happened was, one of these kids is not like the others. And when I started 10 years ago, one of these kids is not like the others was a good thing, right? It was like Mike Stafford was there and John Oakley, and we were all different, right? Mm-hmm. There was no homogeneous sound for that station. What it was you're going to spend time with someone from this time to this time, and then from this time to this time, you'll spend time with somebody else. And I think that was a really good thing because, this one sound and this one opinion, I think is very, it's limiting. And I think geez, why limit yourself? And I think the audience is too smart. The audience knows.
But obviously they feel like a AM talk radio audience will be politically slanted to the right.
Well, I think the operative word is think. Because that just isn't true. Because, for the other day what am I up to now?
Well, we're going to cover a lot of ground here.
I know, but we will. But can I jump you ahead for a second?
Yeah.
The other day I was talking to a woman who I've been doing yoga with for well over a year. And, she realized somehow what I did for a living. And she said, oh my gosh, you're Kelly Cutrara. And she said, my husband and I used to listen to you all the time. And we really liked you. We miss you. My neighbor liked you. They don't listen to the station anymore. And I said, yeah, well, it was going to the right a lot farther than, I was comfortable with. And they knew it. The thing is, they knew it there. They knew I knew it. If you were to sit down and go, who's out of their comfort zone? It's me with the direction you want me to go in. From the first day that Mike Bendixson came in, and I really liked Amanda Caputo because what she wanted to do was allow us to experiment and be who we were fully. And I really liked that. I just don't think she had enough time to make that happen. And, this is right now where we are at with radio. Currently, you need to make things happen quickly, or the expectation is things will happen quickly. And, nothing good happens quickly. Everything good happens slowly. Like what wasn't it? What was canceled? It was, I feel like it was Family Guy. Was Family Guy canceled when they brought it back?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
It had high DVD sales and they say,
slow grow. Right? And it arguably, it was, it's just so good.
Well, look at Seinfeld, for example, right? Like Seinfeld out of the gates was a ratings disaster. It was called the Seinfeld Chronicles, I think. And I don't even think they had an Elaine character at the very, very beginning. But basically, it wasn't a success right away. There's another show, even older than that, Cheers. I'm pretty sure Cheers out of the gate was not successful, and it was given time to grow and find its audience. And look what happened to Cheers. Look what happened to Seinfeld.
Well, the reason why I brought this up was, day one, Mike Ben Dixon comes in from Amanda Caputo and very different management styles. I had worked with Mike in the past at 1010.
At CFRB, yeah.
So I knew who he was. And people were, oh, this is what he's like. This is what's happening. And I'm like, you know what? I love what I do, is what I thought. I'm just going to not judge him before I get to know him again. So he comes in, and I had an open mind, and Chris Creston and Dave Spargala, who's our technical producer. Chris Creston was the producer at the time.
Shaggy Dave.
Yeah. We're called to this meeting. We sit down with Mike. It's very, it's a very casual meeting. And I'll never forget what he said to me. He said, I don't get your show. And I just went, well, like the voice in your head. I mean, there were a lot of things that it was saying. One of them was, fuck you. The other one was, I'm fucked.
Yeah. When the PD doesn't get your show, you're in trouble, right?
I don't get your show. And I'm like, and I just looked at him. I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, what's there to get? It's like hanging out at a dinner party. Sometimes it's serious. Sometimes it's light. We like to have fun. You're just hanging out. We're talking about the day's news stories. We're trying to make them relevant and easily digestible for someone that's busy on their way home. And, we're talking about some other stuff that you might want to bring up at a dinner party so you're not so boring. I don't know. Anyhow, it wasn't. It never improved from that moment on.
So in November 2024,
yeah,
big changes at 640. A number of people got it that day, including you, Kelly Cutrara.
I was going to get a mammogram.
Good, get a mammogram, man. Yeah. That's a Bart Simpson poster.
So I had taken the day. Man. I had taken the day off for a mammogram. Yeah, and so that you look at. It is so uncomfortable. Like, you've got it in the groin before, like with like a hockey puck or something.
Oh, sure, of course.
It's like that, except you can't move or breathe. I'm sure that happens after you get it. But yeah, you're just letting this happen.
There's a lot of nerve endings.
Yeah, it's so painful, but you have to get it done. But
yeah, how often do you need to get that done? I'm just curious.
Oh, once a year, actually. Yeah, because I am in the category of women that have dense breasts. It's like a bonus, and it's not, because if you have dense breasts, apparently they stay where they should be longer as you age.
Firm. Yeah. You notice I'm keeping eye contact through this conversation.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm just telling it as it is, but it's also very hard to detect cancer. Okay. So you got to do it a lot.
So you need to do it once a year, and and you were doing it that day. So what? So you took the day off to get your mammogram, like you do every year.
And then I had a Zoom call.
So they did it via Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay, in November 2024. They didn't say, just say come in tomorrow for a meeting or something. They did it via Zoom.
Yeah.
Would you rather they did it via Zoom than make you...
Sure, why not?
Because at this time, are you broadcasting from home? We don't have to talk about where home is. No,
I did through the pandemic.
So you were at Chorus Key?
Yeah, every day I went into Chorus Key, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not as many people there now as there used to be.
Oh, you know what? That was the most depressing thing going back from the pandemic. It's almost like we just let us work from home because we can't see, how the mighty have fallen. And what I mean by that is when I first started in radio and in Chorus Key, it's like the building is infamous for having this slide.
The slide you're not allowed to slide on.
Yeah, and foosball tables and, like a lot of great stuff. And Nelvana, the animation house was on the second floor, and there was like activity. Yeah. You walk through the production studio area where they were making commercials and doing promos, and there were like three guys working, and you could, one of their doors would fly open, and the noise in there was, amazing and exciting, and people were planning shows, and it was loud, and people were being goofy in the hallways, and it was packed, and then you came back, and there was almost nobody in the station.
I had a tour. I had a couple of tours of Chorus Key, but the most recent tour was Robbie J, the aforementioned Rob Johnston.
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah, great guy and tall guy. He has to watch his head down here, that is for sure. But so Robbie J, who Strombo once came on the show and said he was the last guy standing who was indicative of the spirit of radio at CFNY. He was the last man standing. So that was Strombo's quote. But Robbie J, who you can still hear, because at the end of every ongoing history of new music, you'll hear technical production by Rob Johnston.
Yes.
By your former colleague, Alan Cross.
Great guy too. I've worked with the greats. I'm lucky.
May Potts, Alan Cross. There's another guy you worked with, and the reason I yelled out Shaggy Dave is because Brother Bill's been on this show, and he was referencing Shaggy Dave, like we're all going to know this name Shaggy Dave, and I had to do some investigative reporting, find out who the hell is Shaggy Dave, and then you said the name, and I said, that's Shaggy Dave.
Yeah.
So shout out to Brother Bill, who's in White Rock now, and Big Brother Bill head here. Okay, shout out to Neil Morrison.
I love the brother as well. It's just going to be me saying I love.
I kind of am fine with that. You don't have to tell me the people you don't love. I'll read between the lines.
Okay.
By absence.
I guess that's going to be clear now who I think is a dick.
Well, we know it's not Humble and Fred because
No.
you were a third voice on that show for so long. You must have enjoyed their patter.
Yeah, you know what? If it wasn't for Humble and Fred, I don't think I would have been able to do talk radio. And I know that I've already credited Bill Carroll and
you did. You credited 1010, but you're saying Humble and Fred played a bigger role.
No, I think that they allowed me to learn how to relax and be myself. And it wasn't until I could relax and be myself on the radio that I was going to be able to do talk radio.
Well, that's interesting because this podcast only exists because of the vantage point I had of the Humble and Fred podcast back in 2006. So in a sense, your 640 career stems out of the time you spent with Humble and Fred, and this exact podcast, Toronto Mike, stems out of the Humble and Fred podcast.
Look at that. Connections.
Okay, much love to Humble and Fred. Okay, so you get it at 640. You signed an NDA, so we're not going to get any specifics around this, but is your salary continuance done? Like, have you cashed your
now
last
it is.
check?
Now
right,
it is,
now
yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so and you got severed fairly.
Yep.
Okay, I just want to looking out for you here. I told you I'm a part-time HR lawyer here. Okay.
Everything was fine. You know what? It's been, are we moving on to the what am I up to now?
No, not quite, because I'm curious, when you get the news, are you blindsided by it, or did you prep yourself for it?
No, I think I manifested it, actually.
Oh, interesting. Because were you walking around saying, dead woman walking or anything like that?
No, I just think I knew that it was time to go.
And okay, so I'm going to read between...
Because I loved what I did.
Yeah.
Like Chris and I would end shows some days and we'd just be like, man, that was so much fun. Or can you believe we talked to that person? The listeners were great. Remember that caller that called in? We would just be on a high and buzzing. And I am lucky enough to be one of those people that, I've had the experience of leaving work and really being so pleased with being able to do what I did that day for a living and got paid for it and just, blown away by that. That I totally lost my train of thought.
No, you basically loved.
I loved what I did, and then I didn't, and then I didn't.
The joy had left the gig.
I think the joy left when, I kept being agreeable, and I knew that was not the right thing to do. Every time, I went against my better judgment as somebody that had worked in radio for a long time and understood, I think, what the audience wanted. And every time I was asked to not do something, I'd say, okay.
Can I explore that a little bit? So I feel like the Kelly Cutrara show, hosted by Kelly Cutrara, that's you.
Yeah.
I feel like that was an authentic Kelly Cutrara at her most Kelly Cutrara-esque nature. So you were being very Kelly and authentic. And
whatever
am I reading between the lines that perhaps related, and again, these are all just connecting dots, but when they replace Amanda Capito eventually with Mike Ben Dixon, there is an obvious move at the station to the right of the political spectrum.
No, it wasn't obvious. That's not what I'm talking about. It was obvious that other people, that's what he liked, but he, we didn't have to do that. Nobody's saying, okay, I need you to go to the right. No one's saying that. But where I did compromise myself, and where I'm willing to go is, we had a lot of features that we worked on, Chris and I, that we developed throughout our show, and they were the fun parts. And he would, Mike would come and say,
lighter fare.
Yeah, can you get rid of that? And I just knew from him saying, I don't get your show, that it wasn't, if I said, no, I don't want to get rid of that, I just knew pushing back, it was just futile. So I thought, like, okay, I'll get rid of it. I'll just show I'm agreeable. And I just agreed myself out of all the fun in my show. So then I ended up with a show that was just, heavy. And quite frankly, that's not where I live. I don't live in a place of fear. I don't live in a place of the world is falling apart and Toronto sucks, because it doesn't.
Right.
The traffic's horrible. There are things that suck. But, as we just said in your driveway, David Byrne is coming to Toronto to Massey Hall for 3 nights next week. Like that's awesome. To me, that's awesome. So that's a great thing. And that's going to touch and change a lot of lives. Those 3 nights are.
So why is it, Kelly, though, why is it that when a station veers to the right, it's all like panic all the time? Like everything is shit. Everything's horrible. This level of government's not doing their job, and this is terrible and that's terrible. It just seems like it's all negative. Why is that? Because that's not Kelly Cutrara. Kelly Cutrara, as well as I know you, is a rather positive person. Like I'm a
centrist. Yeah. But you know what? I don't think everybody that's right isn't positive on the right. I just think that
they're miserable people. You ever talk to?
I mean, no. I just think I don't want to insult anybody because and that might be the problem. I think that's what it was. I don't really like to offend anybody or insult anybody, and that's where you have to go if you want to do that kind of radio, and it's not my thing.
Is it fair to say that you had to go to make room for the son of a former prime minister, Ben Mulroney?
Well, they needed time. They needed a slot for him, so I guess that's fair to say. Okay. Yeah,
I feel
one
like
of us had to go.
Okay, so yeah, so you and Ben comes in, and I believe Ben's like right after Greg Brady now. So I think, and I could have this wrong, but I think it's Greg Brady in the morning, and he was, even Greg, who I used to know better than I know him now. Like I still consider him a pal, but we used to be pretty tight, hanging out and stuff.
Did you?
Yeah. Like we would go to Wolfpack, see him at Wolfpack matches, and we'd hang out, and he came on several times. Like I think Greg Brady was a big Toronto Mike fan, to be quite honest. But he seems to have changed a little bit, where he's moved himself to the right, sort of mirroring the tone you get from AM 640 these days. And I wonder if that's like chicken and egg. I don't know what comes first. Maybe both happen at the same time. But Greg Brady and then Ben Mulroney, who essentially, let's face it, Ben Mulroney is, I don't know what Ben Mulroney makes at 640, but it's like he seems to be have a platform for his own independent media empire. Like he seems to have some sort of media or political ambitions, and that this is a good platform. Me speculating here. But Ben's there. Alex Pearson, of course, still there. And now you got the FOTM David Cooper, who's like a trust fund guy who kind of does it from his condo in Manhattan, and he used to be on 1010, and I had a chat with him then. And then you got John Oakley still there, but John Oakley was removed from mornings, or I don't know who initiated that, but he was a morning guy, and then he...
That's when Stafford got moved to mornings.
What was your relationship like with Mike Stafford?
It was good. I think Mike Stafford was one of the best talk show hosts in Canadian history. Quite frankly, I was a fan. I mean, I think he made me want to work at 640 because he was real, and the way he would talk to the guys he worked with and the way he would talk to listeners was just mesmerizing and entertaining and thought-provoking and thoughtful. And, I've listened to him on your show, and it breaks my heart because I just think that kind of talent, it's, I don't think there's a sadder story right now in radio than, Mike's story. And I heard he just lost his wife, so that I'm getting emotional, but.
No, I mean, I'm a big fan of Mike Stafford.
And I know he made a lot of mistakes, but I just think he was so talented. Strictly on a talented level, one of the best.
No, and I think that emotion that you're showing now is part of that authenticity that people are attracted to in Kelly Cutrara, to be quite honest with you. Like, you're feeling emotional because Stafford's going through some tough times, and you mentioned his wife just passed, and I know that's horrific, and we send our condolences to the family. And every once in a while, Mike Stafford will will be knocking on this side door, and we'll get him down here to catch up. And he's always so brutally honest about where he's at. And I always say, thank goodness for Mike's sister, because Mike is one of those guys where we often talk about, like, sometimes we talk about the need for shelters and stuff, and people are down, and it's not me. I'm actually not one of these people, but a lot of people will be sort of like, not in my backyard, like move that downtown or somewhere else. And I'm like, how many professionals, like how many people, because they didn't have a support system and they had some mental health challenges or various issues, would require such services? Mike Stafford's sister is putting him up. And I always say, thank goodness Mike has his sister. Like, where would Mike be today without his sister? Honest, it's a real question. We can only speculate, but where would Mike be today without his sister? I don't know. Like, where would Mike be?
I'm just sad, he's no longer on the radio. I think there's another thing, right? Don't mess with it if it's working. What Mike had with Patrick Malkin and Ryan, and then later Heather, like, they should never have moved him to mornings. I don't know why do that? And, this absurd thought that the morning show host is the most important host on a radio station.
Right.
It's just so archaic and ridiculous. And, people say radio's dead. No, it's not. It's a podcast now. What the hell? You know why? Because nobody's trying to no one is trying to control it.
Right.
Just hire your talent, let them be who they are, let them make some mistakes, because in those mistakes, they'll either learn something or they'll endear themselves to the audience, and just allow them to play, because that's why people listen, because they need some escape. They need some information. They want to find something that is missing in their lives, or they just want someone to keep them company.
Mike Stafford would keep me company back in the day. We're going way back for this, but I used to have a commute to work.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. I used to have an office I had to go to. They wanted me in there 5 days a week.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't even question it. Like, this is just how it works. Because now they call these people back 3 days a week or 4 days a week, and everybody can't believe it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we didn't know any better, did we? Well, you're a radio person. It's all different for you.
You had to be in the studio, yeah.
It's all different for you, but I remember the cubicle culture here.
Oh, God.
Which I feel like this is going to, I feel like I just need to mention that if someone is looking for dynamic and creative work environments because they're calling their employees back to the office, I urge you to chat with Doug Mills. Doug Mills, also a big Kelly fan, by the way.
All around good guy.
Great guy. I met him I took him to a Wolfpack match once. This was an old rugby team. It's long gone now. The COVID kind of killed the Wolfpack. But what a great time we'd have at these rugby matches. But Doug Mills, Blue Sky Agency. He's Doug at blueskyagency.ca. Again, if you're looking for dynamic and creative work environments at the office, Doug is your guy. Write him and let him know you're an FOTM. So back to my commute.
Yes.
I would listen to Stafford. He had an afternoon drive show on 640, and sometimes it would be like Simpsons trivia.
Oh my God. The best. The best. Like, you know what I love? The happy endings that Tina Trajani would put together.
Tina's another great one.
Inappropriate
Where is she today?
And the funniest. Oh, Tina, another talent that unfortunately got it the same day I did. Right?
So I remember Stafford came on after that, and he was lamenting the two of you being no longer on the air because you're so talented.
Oh, Tina's beyond me. She's incredible.
You're very humble.
She's such a good person. She is. Can you tell that I've been doing a lot of yoga since I left radio?
Namaste.
A lot of positive.
Well, you've always been positive.
Yeah, but now I'm doing a lot of just meditation. I do meditation every morning. We're
going to dive into the current life and times of Kelly Cutrara and what's next for her very shortly. But I just want to ask you, because you were there.
Yeah.
Supriya Dwivedi. Yeah. Did you have any relationship with Supriya? I didn't,
because, it's really funny. I was talking to Colleen Rusham about this. Colleen, I hope you don't mind me sharing.
Can you call her up and put her on speakerphone?
No.
Did I mention I love her?
No. Do you?
Big Kelly.
We were talking about how unusual it was that we really didn't know each other that well. We've gotten to know each other throughout the summer quite well, and I feel really fortunate. But because if you work in radio and you work a different show, there's very little crossover. So unfortunately, I didn't get to know Supriya.
Because Supriya, who came on, I don't know when this was anymore. Maybe in the spring. I've lost track of time here, but it was fairly recently. She came over and talked about everything. But she essentially had to leave because of threats she was receiving from 640 listeners who would get. She would explain it like they'd get riled up by the show they were listening to kind of in the previous evening, and then they'd wake up and it would be Supriya, and she'd get the brunt of that. Like this is a very ugly side to the whole thing.
You know what? That's really interesting. I know that was her experience, and I have heard that before. But what I feel really fortunate about is I didn't really get that. When you say, like, okay, there were some people that disagreed, but you could read between the lines, and there was nothing. There was nothing threatening in the emails that I got.
You weren't getting threats.
No, I didn't. I normally got really positive emails.
So let me ask you this then: how much of that has to do with the fact that you're a white woman?
I can't answer that question. I don't know.
It's not answerable. It's not answerable. But food for thought, perhaps, that Supriya is a woman of color, and perhaps that made her a bit of a magnet for this.
I think that's unfortunate in 2025, if that's the case.
Of course. Totally unfortunate. But I will, maybe I was going to promote this. Maybe I'll tell you after the recording, but I'm working on something. That's all I'm going to tell you when we stop recording, when we have our private chat here. But did enjoy my conversation with Supriya, and she will absolutely be back in this basement. And as for Mike Stafford, so he did not get severed fairly like you did. They called it cause, and you know why. It's all well documented on this program. But he did file, I don't even know what the terminology is, but he filed some kind of a legal action that you have to file it within 2 years of your dismissal or something. And he got in under the wire. And believe it or not, even though this has been years since he filed, that's still ongoing, like this whole pursuit of fair severance, because he was at that station for over 2 decades.
Yeah. I remember listening to Mike Stafford one day, and I got in a car accident. Yeah.
That's how...
On the Gardner.
Yeah, I think that's Stafford's gift, I think, causes many a car accident. So, all right. Much love to Mike Stafford, who will also... I'm just telling you, he will be back in this basement as well. That is my pledge to the listenership. Okay, so when you first got it, even though you said you kind of...
I could see
manifested it.
Sure.
But this is a kind of a ugly question.
How did I feel?
How did you feel? Like, was there any sense of...
I felt relieved.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I did. I felt relieved, and I felt fine about it. I think I felt so fine that I shocked some people. You know what? I was ready for a reset, I think. So that was fine.
Well, you weren't enjoying your job anymore.
No. And the only reason why I did radio was it wasn't about the money, Mike.
But at the end it was.
It was well, I guess it might have been, sure. But no, I think it was more of a habit at the end, to tell you the truth.
Like it's just what you do?
Yeah, it's what you do. But I wasn't loving it anymore. But I just I was ready for the break, so that was okay.
It's been less than a year.
Yeah.
Like this hits you in November 2024, and we're talking in October 2025.
Yeah.
So do you take some time to lick your wounds?
If I said, I make it sound like it was positive. It was still a loss. I was like, whoa, what do I do when I wake up now? And, I stepped away from reading the news for about a month entirely. I was like, well, I'm done with the news. I don't care what's going on in the world right now. Right. And I got right into yoga and would sometimes be at the yoga studio twice a day. But this last year, to be honest, has been a huge year of loss. Like it started with, I lost my job, which at one time I loved. So even though I didn't like it then, it's still something I loved.
Right.
Right. At one time, it's sort of like, when a relationship's ending, there was a reason you started that relationship in the first place. So I felt the loss there. And then one of my very best friends died of pancreatic cancer.
I'm so sorry.
the end of February.
I'm sorry.
Thanks. And then I lost another really close friend in, I think it was June. And so it's been a really big year of loss, but it's been a really good time to stop. Like, I feel very fortunate and reassess what the point is, really. And when you lose somebody really close to you, you reassess everything. Like, I have been purging things because you realize that the stuff we collect or hang on to means nothing. That is just, that's, you know, this is why I love talk radio, because it was really about the connection for me. It wasn't necessarily about the topic. I would get calls from people and listeners that, you know, didn't have to spend any time with me. They just chose to. And you would get a call and I would answer and the person would start with, "Hey, Kel." I've never called myself Kel in my life. So there was a connection. Right. So, you know, you just go, what's it all for? It's fleeting. You know, there's no guarantee on how your life is going to go. So, you know, with all the loss, then I started to, you know, spend a lot of time looking at what I want as I move forward. And it's really like, I want to approach everything I do from a point of, is this going to spark some sort of joy? Even though I got all teary there, sorry. It's hard when you lose somebody close to you. It really is.
No, I know. Stafford just experienced a great loss, and Supriya experienced a great loss too fairly recently. Her husband passed away.
He did?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Very, I think it's cancer, but I think,
God.
but yeah, awful, very young, and with a young child.
Yeah. A daughter, I think, right?
Yeah. And I know that was, she's still, of course, it's not something you get over necessarily. You just learn to kind of cope and manage. But I really appreciate your honesty here, because you've lost these two people who are very close to you, and that is the most traumatic thing you can experience. But then the second most, I believe this is something I read, that the second most traumatic thing you'll experience is the loss of a job.
Yeah.
So you may have had some sense of relief because it wasn't sparking joy at the end.
Right.
But at the same time, and I've been there. I remember I was there in 2018. I was there, and I could tell you there's that sense of optimism and positivity that you can do something different now, and that's exciting. But at the same time, not knowing what's next is extremely stressful and can cause great anxiety.
If you want it to.
Yeah. But sometimes you don't want it to, and it still does. Maybe that's where the yoga comes in.
I guess you're in charge of how you approach things, though.
Attitude is everything.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, and I spent the last 10 months, you know, really doing a lot of work on my mat. Like, not just because I'm not a very flexible person, and that's literal and figurative.
Right.
But you know, I feel like the next move will be for me. I feel like where I'm going now is really, truly, it's terrifying because, you know, it's something that I want to do on my own, but I feel like it's going to be good. Really good.
Don't even tease what that is.
No, I won't.
But I have a question about yoga.
Yes.
Were you somebody who would practice yoga before you were fired?
Yes.
Okay, so when you were fired, did you just find you needed to do maybe more yoga because it was good?
No, I found I had time. I had no time. Hosting a talk show is crazy. The amount of time that you have to spend reading, and you're always thinking about it and being on the air. Because
it's live, okay? Yeah. So there's no safety net.
No safety net.
And you don't want to be exposed as ignorant to something, so you need to be well-versed in a wide breadth of topics so that you can speak intelligently on almost everything. But it's not just
you don't want to be exposed. It's like, it's your job. Yeah, you have to know stuff. You know, you owe that to the audience. I don't know. I take my job seriously. So, you know, they're paying you to do something, but not just that. It's who are you talking to? And why are you doing this at the end of the day, right? And, I don't want to be misinforming people.
You're a professional.
I'm responsible, I guess.
You replaced May Potts, for goodness sakes.
No one can replace May
I
Potts.
just remember so before there was a Toronto Mic'd, actually, I still remember Fearless Fred on Humble and Fred's podcast.
Yep.
And you defending me, and I remember you made this what I found to be a very funny aside about you want pressure. Try replacing May Potts on CFNY. That's pressure.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
can
Kelly.
hardly remember it, though. Now I think about it, and I'm like, oh, God, get over yourself. But I think hosting a talk show is probably the hardest thing you can do. On a daily basis, 3 hours. Holy crap!
It sounds like a lot of work.
Oh, it is exhausting.
Right.
Yeah.
And because you have this wheel or whatever it's called, like you got to throw to there's traffic breaks and there's commercial breaks.
It's live, and I have to say, if I wouldn't want to do it with anybody other than Chris Creston. The safety net that he gave, that a good producer gives a talk show host, it is you cannot overstate it, how important they are to a show. And I think, unfortunately, that's a big problem right now, because Heather was a very good producer as well. Yeah. These producers are gone. They're gone because unfortunately, pardon me?
Is that cost cutting?
Of course. Yeah, you need to pay people what they're worth. And if you're asking people to work really hard, start paying them to work as hard as you want them to work.
But Chorus's financial troubles
apparently it's not
are well documented.
Too bad. It's a good thing I don't have a lot of stocks.
Well, I mentioned the name Alan Carter because he was one of the great people who jumped on the mic when I was at that GLB brew pub that day for the 640. And Alan Carter was on Global at the time with Farah Nasser, two people who visited me, and we had great conversations. But they're also victims of this, Chorus cost cutting that has been rampant the last few years. I want to throw Colleen Rushholm in that bucket, although Colleen says, because Colleen doesn't.
I think Colleen retired.
Yeah, I think we need to talk about that. Like,
you'll have to have her to talk about that.
We did. We had a good chat at Neil Young, and she is going to come by because she films a TV show in this city, and then when she visits the city for that TV show, she's going to drop by. So I will get Colleen Rushholm, and we will talk about that but she did retire. I do have questions for her, but that's a Colleen Rushholm thing. So I shouted out Colleen on yesterday's episode because Lisa Brandt disclosed to me at the end of our chat
that she loves Colleen.
No.
What?
That Brandt is a fake name.
Oh.
And then I thought to myself, because I know there's a lot of fake names in radio, so I started rhyming off.
Took me a long time to come up with Cutrara.
Well, Cutrara's your real name. I've checked you out. That's your real name, right? Okay. So Brandt, though, if you were coming up with a fake name, why would you pick a name like Brandt?
They make really good sausage.
Do they?
I think so.
Is it DT at the end of that,
yeah.
Brandt? Okay, yeah. So you think she just saw the sausage and said, that's for me?
Maybe.
No, well, she said she went through a white pages or something, and she was going through. And she picked Brandt. But
I remember once I sat down. It was my first day in radio, and I sat down. It was at a place called CKDA, and it was like, honestly, WKRP, but it was in Victoria, in the bottom of a hotel, a seedy hotel, the Douglas Street Hotel. And I sat down at the mic, and the production guy ran in. He goes, "What name are you going to use?" And I'm like, Kelly. And he goes, no, the last name. You can't use your last name. And I'm like, why? He's like, stalkers. I go, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Why Brandt changed it.
So I called myself Kelly Dean. And can I don't change your name, because there's something that happens when you change your name. You lose that ability to really be yourself.
Because the authenticity. Because you're assuming a persona.
Yeah. So unless you want to play a role, then don't change your name.
Right. Like, that's brother Jake Edwards. That's not me. Insert real name here.
And what do I know? Because I'm sure a lot of people that are way more successful than I've ever been have... I'm freezing. Can you hear me?
Are you cold?
Yeah, that's why I'm like... Well, I'm going to put on my... Let me just put on my jacket.
I don't have the heat on yet because it's been sort of nice. Like... I guess it's colder in a basement, of course, because heat rises, Kelly. This is what they taught me. Okay.
Lady.
So do you want me to do this? So
what?
You warm up. By the way, who never changed their name and had great success in this market?
May Potts.
Is that a real name?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't know either, actually. I was thinking of Erin Davis.
Oh, yeah. Who's she?
Erin Davis. You ever heard of her? She got fired. So don't feel bad about being fired.
Oh, no, listen. Everybody gets fired. I've been fired a few times. Never for cause. It's not actually. I haven't been fired. I've been let go, and it's always a change in direction.
To be honest, it's the same thing. The only difference is severance. Like
I've always got severance.
You got severed fairly, which means not for cause, and that's where Stafford hit a roadblock because they just said goodbye and gave him nothing. So I'm going to, if it's cool with you. Well, here's a question for you. You mentioned the yoga.
Yeah.
Are you consuming cannabis?
No.
So you're not consuming any cannabis. You're doing more.
I'm doing hot yoga, like in a 41 degree room where you just sweat like a demon. Like you look like you jumped into a swimming pool.
I think Humble Howard does that.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, we've talked about it.
Okay. Have you ever done it with him?
No, but I was going to once. And then I'm like, I don't know if I want it. That's very intimate.
So you just sweat a lot.
Oh, like it is dripping. Like I have a sweat rag.
Okay, I don't know.
You're wiping your face. It's going in your eyes. It's like, it takes a little bit of getting used to, and it sounds absolutely appalling and offensive. And maybe it is, but I love it.
Well, it's working for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got more questions on the other side. I'm actually going to play a very short chat I had with a gentleman yesterday. His name is Michael Davis, and he's with Kindling. And yesterday was the first episode where we had a new sponsorship from Kindling. So as you might imagine, as an independent guy here, a fiercely independent guy, it's always exciting to welcome new sponsors to the program. So Woo-wee. Kelly, would you mind listening to this little chat I had with Michael, and we'll learn more about Kindling?
I would love to.
Michael Davis, tell me everything I should know and everything the listenership of Toronto Mike should know about shopkindling.ca.
Well, I started Kindling to provide free 1 hour delivery all day to the GTA, basically. I found that I couldn't really find a reliable delivery service that was legal and didn't take 6 hours to get to my house. So, yeah, we started with one location in Little Portugal, offering free 1 hour delivery from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. And it's trackable and discreet. We found a lot of success with that. It really resonated with people. Again, just wanting to get legal cannabis delivered to their door, not have to go into a dispensary, not have to deal with out of stocks once you've already, left your house and driven to a dispensary. And we wanted to make it super simple and easy for people to get the product they want or need and get it delivered to their door.
So an FOTM goes to shopkindling.ca. And then they can get free 1 hour trackable delivery of their cannabis product every day, all day?
Every day, all day, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Order up.
Okay, Canada Kev is going to review shopkindling.ca, and he's going to report back to the listenership. Awesome to have you on board. Thank you, Michael. Thank you to the good people at shopkindling.ca. How's your voiceover career going, Kelly?
I want to know where my pot is.
Yeah, 20. But this wild.
You know what? If you're waiting for pot, the ability to be able to track it, it's pretty good. I just put my Invisaligns in. You can hear how it's got a little bit of a lisp.
Be authentic, okay? Now,
I wouldn't do this on the air normally, but yeah.
Well, this is not really the air.
Yes, it is.
To be discussed. So, let's say you want some cannabis product, but you don't want to go to a store or meet a guy in a back alley or whatever. So you go online.
Listen,
yeah, you don't consume.
I don't think anybody. No, I consume. I don't think anybody should go in a back alley to meet somebody. I think you're asking for some trouble. But
that's how people used to roll.
Maybe.
Sorta.
I thought it was you'd have to go spend some time in some guy's basement and play video games with him for a while. That's right. How it used to was.
I'm thinking of Eric Stoltz in Pulp Fiction, right? Something like that. You got to go hang out there and pick it up. So, but now you go online, shopkindling.ca, and within an hour, that cannabis is delivered to you. And it's not like they're wearing like a cannabis jacket or the label.
What does a cannabis jacket look like? Primarily made of.
Did you see my 102.1 The Edge jacket?
I saw that.
Sandra Plagaka sent me that from Ottawa. Yeah. Did you get one of those?
No, I didn't have a nice leather one like that. I did have one that was like a vinyl.
Oh.
Vegan leather.
Okay. Vegan leather. So you're a vegan?
No.
Okay, because I'm worried about the lasagna because
No,
there's
no,
beef
no.
in that lasagna
Oh
here.
my God, I'm looking for that.
So shopkinling.ca. Okay.
Are we still on this?
Yeah, well, but now I'm back to your voiceover career.
Yes.
Because you had it going on. I mean, CBC, the Olympics and everything.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Well, you know what? As I say, it's been a year of loss and change.
Right.
I decided, and I was terrified about doing this, to leave the union.
What does that mean for us lay people?
So there's an actors union, and for a long, long time, if you wanted to get any of the good voice work, you had to be a member of the actors union. And to get in, it's kind of hard. But I did get in, and I, would pay my union dues every year, and it allowed me to get access to the auditions and get a shot at the jobs. So I had heard that during the pandemic, things kind of went non-union, which means that there were a lot of people that were doing smaller jobs for less money. And,
right.
But the production houses had started to hire them and not hire union people as much. And so I finally just left the union. So I had to leave my agent, who was so lovely. And she said, hey, you're welcome back anytime. But
right.
I am now with Roger King.
I know Roger King. He made the documentary about David Marsden and other DJs who got to play what they wanted.
Mm. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine from university, actually.
Okay, did you ever see that documentary?
I did not. Now I feel bad.
Okay, well.
Sorry, Roger.
Did you ever meet David Marsden?
Yeah, actually, I hung out with David Marsden at Wolfgang Klein. Oh, yeah. He
doesn't live too far from here.
He had an Edge party this summer.
Do you know I was invited to that?
Yeah, I know, and I think I told you should go.
You told me I should go. Pete Fowler said I had to go.
You missed a good one.
I personally didn't feel like I should go because it was clearly a reunion of people who worked at CFNY. Well, Kelly, this is going to come to it as a shock to you. I never worked at CFNY.
No, but
So wouldn't that be weird? You don't think that's even a little bit weird to show up at a reunion?
You're the reason why we did it.
Well, that's not
you listened.
true.
No, well, it is true, right? Anyhow.
Okay, well, not all listeners were invited.
If you're invited to a party, you should go. Don't be rude.
I think if you're invited to, and I'm being sincere, because I thought, because it's very close to here, I could have biked there in like 10 minutes.
God, that's a nice
Well,
house.
he did all right? He did all right. Shout out to Wolfgang if he's listening at home. And I mean, Humble and Fred were there. So I got reports. Bob Willett was there. He comes over here once a
Lana
month.
Gay was there.
Yeah, Lana Gay was there. But here's my question.
Robbie J was there.
Real question for you. If you're, let's say there's an unrelated industry. Let's say a newspaper. Let's say the Toronto Star is having a big reunion of everybody who worked at the Toronto Star. Okay? You with me?
Yeah.
And let's say you are a big fan of the Toronto Star and you've even blogged about the Toronto Star. Maybe on a podcast you talked about the Toronto Star. And you get invited to this reunion of people who worked at the Toronto Star. Would you, Kelly Cutrara, accept the invitation and be a person at this party who never worked at the Toronto Star? Serious question.
I don't know, the Toronto Star Party. I don't want to offend anybody. It doesn't sound as fun as the
Ed Keenan's going to be there?
Edge Party.
Come on. No, it's true.
It's just,
but just see, that's
you
where
missed a really good one.
I missed a good one that I'm honored
and
to have been
I talked to
invited
Dave Marsden for quite a while, actually.
What was his hair looking like?
He's got great hair.
Yeah, last time he was here, he had very long hair. But he had long hair last time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He has long hair.
Okay.
I thought he was Rob Zombie at first. Because he's got really long hair.
And he's in his 80s.
Yeah.
He's looking. I just had a chat. This is a
nice man.
Just before you came here, Kelly, I had an hour conversation with a guy who's 90 years old. And this will drop in the Toronto Mike feed next week, I think. But this gentleman was sharp as a tack and fascinating, and he's 90.
Well, because he's been around for 90 years. Yeah, Jeez, that's
some 90-year-olds
so
are not like other 90-year-olds.
Of course he's fascinating.
Fascinating. So, do you think your voiceover work is being affected?
It's by the Invisaligns? Kind of. I hope not,
I kind of like it, Kelly. But I'm thinking more of the emergence of AI.
Oh, yeah.
Is that eating into your work?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. I don't like AI because there's no soul to it.
It's listening.
It is always listening.
You've got your computers on.
Oh, I know. But Rob Pruce from Spoons did put something together using AI, and I'm going to play it because I love Rob Pruce from the Spoons, okay? So this is from Rob Pruce from the Spoons.
Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. We need to do it today. That means we need recyclemyelectronics.ca today.
So don't you think it's nuts that that's just AI spitting out like a piece of music?
You know, at one time I would have said that, but no, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Because it really sounded too polished.
So there's no human flaw in there. It's just
you need the flaw.
You need the flaws. Okay, so AI is going to pick up on this and start making mistakes.
I think artwork maybe. Yeah, probably will. I think artwork needs mistakes in order to be interesting and relatable.
The imperfections are what make it perfect here. Okay, so you had a rough year, Kelly. You lost your job.
I don't think I had a rough year.
But you lost your job and a couple of your friends.
Loss. I had a real year. I had a profound year.
But you took this as an opportunity to kind of reset things.
Yeah.
Right? So what can you say about what's next for the very young and vibrant Kelly Cutrara?
Well,
who's wearing braces, for God's sakes.
Yeah. What is next is straight teeth. No, my teeth, people keep looking at me going, what do you got those things in for? Your teeth are fine.
But you said as you age, things shift?
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
This house is shifting.
Don't get me started.
What else is
on what happens. It's things shift. Clearly, I'm okay in the dense breast department. But no, things start to change and shift.
I haven't looked.
They start to change and shift. So that's where I'm at. Shifting, changing.
And what's next for you?
I am going to say this, though it terrifies the heck out of me, because like when I worked with Humble and Fred on the podcast, they would say, Kelly, just start a podcast. And I'd say, I don't want to just start a podcast. And they'd say, just do it. What are you waiting for? And I said, I need to know what it's about. And they're like, I don't know, just make it about you. And I'm like, I don't want to make it about me. That's not what I want to do. I need it to be about something. And so I'm not making it about me. I am going to do a podcast. It will not be about me, which makes me very comfortable.
Well, it can be a little about you. Like my show's not about me, but parts of me will slip into each episode.
I'm in it, but it's not about me because its purpose is it's purposefully not about me.
Are you ready to say what it might be about, or is that something?
No, I think I'll have to come back and talk about that.
Okay, but this is big, exciting news because you basically said on the public record, and this is binding,
that Kelly, I am going to do a podcast.
You're going to have a podcast.
Yes.
Because a lot of people wanted and still want Mike Stafford to have a podcast. And that hasn't been, he has to be in the right headspace, and he's not yet been able to do so. But you are now in the right headspace to launch your own fiercely independent program.
Yes.
That's exciting.
I feel like, and it's going to be different. Like it's not going to be a long, rambling event. It will be put together more like a show.
How similar will it be to the Kelly Cutrara show that people would have heard on 640?
Not at all. Well, it will be similar because it'll be interview based. But it won't be. It's a different animal. We're moving on.
When did you decide you were ready to do this?
Before I lost my job.
Oh.
Almost, yeah. I would say that I wanted to do it, but I didn't want to lose the security of the paycheck.
No, I've heard that story before. It is nice that, I don't know how you get paid, but every couple of weeks of money just shows up in your account.
Yeah, that was
and people get addicted to that. Like it's scary.
You don't become addicted. You rely on it.
Right.
Okay. I was working hard for the money, though.
Do you feel you were fairly compensated for the work you did at 640?
Sure, that was okay. It was all right.
Is he? Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what's fair. I wasn't complaining.
When can we possibly expect to hear the first episode?
I wanted the podcast to launch, truth be told, last month.
September.
Yeah. And then the summer was so freaking nice.
Because you have a cottage.
Oh, the weather was great.
It was amazing.
And I went to France in May and I went on a yoga retreat and that was phenomenal. So time got away. And I decided, I decided to give myself a break as well. You know what?
You've earned it.
Well, doing a podcast is a labor of love, and you need to be ready for it. And I know it's not easy work. And so I needed a rest before I got started,
And when we stop recording, will I get more detail about this podcast?
You will probably get some detail because I might need your help.
And will I have to sign an NDA?
No, you just have to promise
Pinky
to.
swear?
No, we'll just put it in the vault. Is that it?
Well, it doesn't have to be it. Like that's a nice
It's the
thing
end
about
of the
having a
show?
podcast. Like there is no one who says I need 22 minutes. I need 44 minutes.
You started playing the extra music, and
I can
it's
turn it off,
on
though.
the. Yeah, but then that sounds.
Is there? And because it doesn't have to, and honestly, it doesn't have to. I had something coming up that just got moved. Like I literally don't have to end this. I just thought I was doing you a favor after 75 minutes where you were.
Have we been talking for 75 minutes?
This was an emotionally.
Okay, listen, I want to
draining-
apologize right now for wasting your time for 75 minutes. Thanks
you
for
don't, you don't
tuning
get
in.
it, Kelly. You don't get it. You don't get it. I know that's self-deprecating.
Not
humor.
your time. I'm talking about whoever's listening's
Yeah, I know.
time.
They love
I didn't
it.
give you
They're all-
anything that is going to change your life or
Kelly.
make your day.
Hearing you share your experience, what happened at 6:40,
My
how you-
weeping?
I think that was compelling. Like I'm telling you, that's why this particular podcast exists, because
So that I can come on and cry.
for long form conversations with people like you, because you can't get a taste of what's happening with Kelly Cutrara by doing 5 to 10 to 15 minutes. Like you really do need to sit down, take a deep breath, take off the braces for a little bit, and let it come out. And then at the end of it all, you've got 75 authentic minutes with somebody that people adore.
I was just warming up.
Well, I didn't record it, so we have to do it again.
Awesome.
Can I tell you about Nick Iones and his 2 podcasts that he has? We're recording tomorrow morning, actually.
You could, but I want to know why Ridley Funeral Home has a tape measure.
What would you like to measure with the Ridley Funeral Home tape measure?
How much time I've got left?
So shout out to Nick Iones,
Really
who has
should be a
podcast
stopwatch.
called, well, let me talk to Brad about that. He's open to that. A stopwatch is a good idea. I don't
Or an
know
alarm clock.
what that cost, but Nick Iones has podcasts called
Step counter?
Building Toronto Skyline and Building Success, and we're recording 1 episode of each tomorrow morning. Brad Jones has a great podcast called Life's Undertaking, and all 3 of those podcasts
Does
are
he work
worth
for
your
Ridley's
while.
Funeral Home?
He owns it.
Oh.
So Brad Jones is the funeral
love
director
the
at Ridley
name.
Funeral Home. Life's Undertaking. Yeah, and once every 2 weeks, he knocks on that side door, and we record a half an hour, and the aforementioned Rob Bruce loves it.
Can I just tell you one thing?
Yeah, I'll bring it down.
I did think a side thing I might want to get into for a while. This is before.
Funeral services.
Yeah.
Lisa Brandt said the same thing
Yeah.
yesterday.
You know why? I've been to a lot of funerals where they've not done a great job of eulogizing or, walking you through this person's life. And I've been to a handful that did a great job. And those are just, that's the final show. Right?
What are you
gotta
doing?
Do it well.
What are you doing on November 29? Palma's Kitchen. I'm having a live recording. If you come out to that, I'll introduce you to Brad Jones
It's
from Ridley
friendly
Funeral
giant
Home.
music.
Would you like that? Rob Bruce put this together. But I have to speak quickly. You ready, Kelly? And that brings us to the end of our 1,781st show. And here's Rob and Gord. They wrote this song together, Romantic Traffic. Go to torontomike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs. Thank you to Great Lakes Brewery. Kelly's got her beer. Palma Pasta. Kelly's got her lasagna. Nick Iones. I'll see you tomorrow morning, Nick. Kindling. Welcome aboard Kindling. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Blue Sky Agency and Ridley Funeral Home. See you all next week for more adventures on Toronto Mic'd.